that's what happens when I don't do this for a while, is I have nothing plugged in. So anyone who walked in earlier didn't hear any audio. So sorry about this, guys. This has not been a good rollout comeback. So sorry about that. Let me see. All right. So you guys should have sound now. If it's too loud or doesn't sound right, I can double check it real quick, I guess. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. So I think I'm okay. What happened was I forgot to plug in the nifty cable that goes into the camera into my sound thing. So, holy cow, what a pain to get this set up. I spent the last 30 minutes trying to get the broadcast to come up, at least in a preview, and it wouldn't do it. So hey, there you go. So let's jump into this, and whoops, let me see where we're at here. Let me get into the right chat window, because I had 2 open and one isn't the right one. So hopefully nobody is in the other one. Let me make it bigger so I can actually see it. And I'll go through. I know it scrolled a little bit up, but so we got Mommy and Mo. Welcome, glad you can make it. Sarah A, who said no sound, but now you got sound because I plugged it in. Schaefer 1234, glad you could make it. Sorry about the complexities on this one. Creep Central Broadcast, welcome again. All right, and then God, I know you told me your name and I forgot. Old Shaw Nerd, hello and welcome. Okay, so let's wait a couple minutes for hopefully everyone to switch to the right stream. If you because I know this is a complete mess. All right, I got about 11 people on. I don't know what we had on the other one. So anybody who just came in, sorry about that. Set everything up, tried to fire up the stream. YouTube would see the stream and would never give me the prompt to say I could preview it and then go live. It just locked up. I tried to kill it, tried to do a couple things, and nothing worked. So I ended up having to reboot everything, and then I just got it finally to do just a regular impromptu live stream. Now the only bad thing is if anything drops on this, it will kill the connection and then it will make a whole nother file, which is kind of annoying. So anyways, let me, man, talk about getting a little distracted. So let's see where we are here. So we got 12 people online. Looks like my health stream is good. So at least that's something. Go back to the comments and, all right. I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit. That might be better. My comments are streaming. Okay, all right. Sorry again about that, guys. Well, hey, welcome back. It's been a while. Haven't been able to make a lot of videos lately because I had the kids. I have one more weekend with them before it rolls into basically their mom's time. So I have a couple days to get some videos out before the kids come back. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. But this is going to be kind of a precursor or a summary of the topics that I'm planning on hitting whenever they do come back. So let me first let's go over some housekeeping. Let's see if I do that right. So if you want to email me directly, you can do that at Dwayne@dadssurvivingdivorce.com. If you can go to the website, or you can also connect to me via the website at www.dadsurvivingdivorce.com. And let's see if I can pull. Hey, at least that worked. So let me get back over there to that. So if you go to that, you can contact me through the contact page, which will actually send me an email. So if some reason, the email doesn't seem to work, that will actually get it to me, and it'll leave your reply. So if I reply right back to it, it will go straight to you. If you want to get the nifty newsletter, I did send out some newsletters over the vacation. So you guys who aren't on that, you didn't get that, but I sent some pictures and just some of the things that were going on. You can sign up for that right here. Just put in your name and your email, and I will automatically add you to the Dad's Surviving Divorce email list, and you'll get all those really cool newsletters with sometimes they even have pictures. So I did have some pictures on there. And if you go to the forum, which is still, we're just kind of rolling that out. Like I mentioned before, I was looking at one of my older videos. Rolling this out right before I went on vacation and basically did a hiatus was a really colossally bad idea. Now, if I was looking at it from the fact that maybe it's a beta rollout of the forum, then maybe that's not so bad. So If you guys haven't already done so, if you could check that out, log in and or register for it and check it out and see if it's hopefully, I mean, there's not much activity on it yet, but hopefully we can get that rolling and have a forum location for people to hang out and converse on things. And let's see here. So now let me get back over to the comments. So before I go into my little thing on the topic for this, I'm just going to check and see where we're at with some comments. Let's see here. All right, so you guys are hearing me. Oh, Old Shawnee Road. See, I knew I said that wrong. So okay. Schaefer 1234 says, Dwayne, hope you had a great vacation with the family. Great pics on your website. So, oh, thanks. You might have found my other website then, so that's cool. Mommy Mo, yes, I agree. I think we're all pulling for him, right? I do like those new letters too. Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that. And actually, one thing on that, I do have my my actual email on that. So if you sign up for that, and if you just reply back to it, it goes right to me. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see here. Okay, our Creep Central Broadcast says, I'm so bad at black hole thinking. It's really hard, so don't beat yourself up on it. They always catch me off guard, or I just get very shocked anyway by their callousness and invisibility. No decency. Yeah, none of the, okay, so broadcast, none of this is easy, okay? And I know sometimes I worry that I make it seem easy, like, oh, I just came up with this term and it was just a piece of cake and you should be able to do a piece of cake too. No, that's not the case. It was hard. And all of those things that I've kind of come up with, and I'm not saying that I was, that I single-handedly came up with certain things. At the time when I was looking, there wasn't a lot of information to find. And as a result of that, here, let me go back here. As a result of that, I didn't really have, a lot of things to fall on, right? So I ended up taking everything that I'd heard from other sites and other readings about no contact and gray rock, which we know in a lot of ways we can't do, and morphing those into methodologies that worked for me. So, and even with that, they were not easy, okay? It was hard. Gray rock is hard when you start. Hybrid no contact is really hard when you start. Absolute thinking is really hard when you start to do it, and it feels weird and it's wrong. I was just emailing someone earlier today about that, or maybe it was a comment, but it's one of those things where it's really tough. But once you start drilling that into your head, it gets to the point where you're not saying it right. And what I mean by that, and I'm getting a little off. Well, it's all actually intertwined, but like the absolute thinking, it's one of those things where when something happens and you're thinking, well, they sent over cookies, so they must be, it must be a genuine gesture. And you have to say to yourself, no, it's not. It's an illusion. They're a narcissist. It's an illusion, right? Even if ultimately you realize maybe they're not a full-blown personality disorder, you need to do that in the beginning stage, because otherwise you will drive yourself insane trying to figure it out, okay? And then after a while, what would happen with me is I would have these bad times, and I would start reminiscing, and I would be like, man, those times that we had together, those were really happy. I know, I can remember we were all happy. And, and prior to the absolute thinking, it would be a downward spiral into depression and self-doubt and questioning and wondering if, maybe I'm really the narcissist, because narcissists, they don't know it, right? So if narcissists don't know it, then I wouldn't know it, so maybe I'm a narcissist, right? The thing is, though, the difference on that is a narcissist will never even go down that thought process, okay? And then that rolls into the black hole thinking, because you can get the absolute thinking, but then you still want to look. You still want information. You still want their kids to tell you a little bit, or you want friends, or you want to look at Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is they're on. And so on that, it's hard, okay? It's not easy. Take it one day at a time. You're going to make little improvements. When when they catch you off guard, like you say, what I should have done is I should have grabbed your comment, because I'm talking about it. So let me do this real quick, so that anybody who's watching this who is going, what in the world is he talking about, can know, okay? And I'm going to grab this and go like not like that because that didn't work. Okay, and move over here, and I'll go to, okay, so Creep Central Broadcast was saying, I'm so bad at the black hole thinking, they always catch me off guard, or I just get very shocked by their callousness and invisibility and no decency. So, and what I'm saying on that is it's going to take practice. It's going to take some of those failures, some of those times whenever you go, oh crap, I didn't respond right. But the difference is if you can take that step back, if you can pause for a moment and go, oh crap, I didn't do that right. So what am I supposed to do again? How am I supposed to think about that? And it's an iterative process. And so don't beat yourself up on that. It's one of those things that we get stuck in, and it gets better with time and with practice, like anything. Everything you work on. I mean, some people have an innate talent for something and just pick it up and can run with it, like playing music or something like that. But most people have to practice at something. Okay, so, all right, let's see where we're at here. Schaefer 1, 2, 3, 4. Me first. Me first. Dwayne, my husband said he didn't have long to live, so I would talk with him on phone with him. I fell for it. We'll take $200 on bridge in Brooklyn. It's really amazing how often they use that tactic. I mean, my ex never did that. I mean, she was getting her supply through the kids and through money. And so she didn't really, I mean, she still tries to make things complicated, but I'm not dealing with that. So, and you know what though, and to be perfectly honest, probably if she did, I would probably fall for that too. You guys got to remember that most of us in this scenario are empath, right? Empathetic people are empaths. Which, I mean, it's weird because I never really thought of myself as that way, and but it is, right? I mean, that means that it's real easy to make us feel guilt. It's real easy to get us to do things just by making us feel bad for the other person. All right, so, okay, so before I jump right into this, let me look where we're at here. So I did want to go over, let me double check something here. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to go over the changing their tactics topic, and then we'll get to what you guys are saying. So give me a minute on that, and hopefully, let me double check some things. Hopefully things will flow okay. So bear with me. I've been a little off my game, so I have that to deal with. So, okay, so here's the deal. No matter what you do, their tactics are going to change. Like I said in the email, if you got that, it's one of those things that just doesn't end, right? So they always adapt. They are always going to whatever. It's crazy because whenever you understand something, they change. And what I mean is they adapt, right? So whenever you realize, oh, okay, so they're going to try to poke my buttons by doing a smear campaign and, doing X, doing, whatever. And you will get to the point where it's like, okay, you know what? I get it. I get it's BS. I get that it doesn't matter. So you're like, you know what? I'm not going to respond to that. And you'll think, oh man, I got this figured out. They're not going to be able to hurt me using tactic A. Well, the problem is as soon as the tactic A doesn't work, they go to tactic B. And then you go through this same process where you realize, oh, okay, I get that. And it's just this tit for tat. And getting you to respond is their ultimate goal, right? They want that reaction. They want you to either lash out at them. They want you to lash out at your children. They're trying to provoke a response from you. That is their goal. That's their supply. And unfortunately, our children are not off the table. If you're early in the stage of this and they're still focusing on you, then maybe you haven't experienced that yet, but you're going to. That's the problem. Is you need to prepare yourself for it because it switches around. And it's tough when it's your kids because they can really push your buttons and make you really angry. And then that goes down to the next one where you got to slow down when you're provoked. You have to take a breath. You have to take a moment. Don't Don't do that visceral, angry response, because that's exactly what they're trying to get you to do. They're trying to, even when they're using your children, it's the same thing. I dealt with that for the last 2.5 weeks for all this, through all of it. That's exactly what I had to do. I mean, you guys know, for who's been watching some of this stuff, or the channel, that I had this whole vacation planned, and then it got a little bit confused because I had to, modify it a little bit. Well, when the kids came back, or when the girls came back on Wednesday, really late Wednesday night, like I was like needing to go to sleep to go to work the next day, because I didn't take the Thursday off. The girls walked in completely miserable, sunburned, basically from head to toe. And I didn't respond, right? I didn't get angry. I mean, I was angry. I talked to the kids, and I'll tell you, I had this one conversation with my youngest daughter, my 11-year-old, and I was just like, well, what happened? Well, we forgot sunscreen. And I'm like, okay, so everybody got sunburned? Oh no, my sister and I made sure mommy didn't get sunburned. We put sunscreen, on mommy, and we forgot to put it on us, and they were burnt to a crisp. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm surprised that they didn't blister, and it wasn't worse, because my youngest was about ready to cry because of it. And when I looked at her back, I was like, oh my God, so lathered her up with more aloe vera. And anyway, so that's just a little bit of example, but you have to slow down on your responses, and ultimately you have to respond rationally and not emotionally. And it's, oh my God, it is incredibly difficult. I mean, I've had a lot of practice with this, so it's not as bad now, but I guarantee you, roll the clock back 3-4 years ago, I absolutely would have said some things that would have been counterproductive, would have put the kids in the middle, would have immediately put the girls into the tact of wanting to defend their mom, and it would have been, it's a lose-lose. It's another one of those double binds that don't get you anywhere. All right, so let me get back over here. So I have seen all kinds of stuff flow up. Let me look over here and see where I'm at, and I know a lot has flown up, so let me try to catch up. All right. Okay, so we're 6:30. Let's see here. So as I'm trying to scroll, if you guys could take a moment and sign up for the newsletter. Some of you guys have seen that I did post some, so you get to see behind the scene photos of our little trip where we went to. What did I post? I posted a picture from Warner Brothers Studio on the little set of La La Land, and something else. I can't remember what else. There was some other. Oh, and when we went to the cat thing, do you guys know that there's places you can go pay to sit with cats? It was interesting, right? It was a cool experience, but really? So kids loved it though, so that was great. All right, so EMJ's welcome EMJ. Oh, sorry, the young one's having some issues. Yeah, if you hopefully you can stick around, but if not, you can watch the live stream. All right, where are we at here? Let's see. Bless your health. Glad you're back. I'm watching the beginning of this video after it ends because I want to hear how your vacation went. I didn't say yet. Yeah, I didn't say. So let me go through this, and I'll talk about when we hope. Maybe we'll have a little pause, and I'll talk more about the vacation. Okay. All right. All right, I'm trying to read through this. Okay, let's see. So Old Shawnee Road. I'm so glad that you said that about wondering if you were possibly the narc. The more I learn, the more I wonder if I really am the problem. Yeah, and okay, so to be perfectly honest, I actually had that same issue and talked to my therapist about it. And the simple answer was that she said to me, she says, if you're worried that you're a narc, you're not a narc. Because a narc doesn't even think that they have a problem, so they're not going to worry about it. It's really kind of bizarre if you think about it, but it's simple, right? But see, we're trying to figure things out. We're trying to process it in our heads. So we put ourselves through that extra trauma. Blesser Hell says, that's like my ex. He is really intelligent, but so arrogant that he does stupid stuff. He truly believes everything will happen his way, so he doesn't think through any scenarios, whereas I do, which is also a good reason how they always expose themselves. They are going to, because they think that their version of reality is true. All right. Leche por favor, welcome. Glad you could make it. Says hello. Thank you for doing the live chat today. Yeah, I'm glad I could get it going. It seemed like it wasn't working there for a little bit. Mommy Mo says my ex's girlfriend was trying to tell me how to parent this week by text. I was so upset, but then stood up for myself for once. It feels really good. Yeah, you have to set boundaries. Boundaries are critically important, and that's good you did that, right? I mean, and you know, the other option is just not to respond, which is really tough. I mean, you know, on the hybrid no contact, it would be one of those things where you'd look at it and see if you really needed to respond. But like I always say, there's a catch with that, right? You know, you can't dive into some of these techniques without first establishing some boundaries. So remember that. So when I talk about, you know, well, you know, this is the way I would do a hybrid no contact scenario, and probably in that scenario what you're talking about, I wouldn't respond, right? But I've responded in the past, right? I've set those boundaries in the past. So I know what you're talking about. And then you'll get to the point that if it continues, then you can get to the point where you don't respond or you don't need to respond. So Helena Fernandez, welcome to the live stream. Glad you could make it. Chemtrail Mary, glad you could make it. Let's see here. Mommy, I get the sad feeling, or I feel like crying out of the blue. I know I'm getting quick thoughts that I can hardly know that I'm thinking. It's weird to be happy and then a sad feeling hits. Okay, so that is incredibly normal. And I went through that myself, and it was incredibly annoying. And it made me feel like I was never going to get over this, that it was this nightmare that just wouldn't end. And that it also continued on when I first started learning about narcissism. And one of the things you guys really have to be careful about, so for the folks who are new to the channel, right? Well, let me not say new to the channel, but new to narcissism altogether. You're gonna have this initial euphoria that you found answers, that you understand, and you're gonna think, oh my God, it all makes sense, and you're gonna feel better. And then some of those feelings are gonna sink back in. And it's gonna really suck because it's gonna make you feel like, oh my God, I am never going to escape this, like Chemtrail Mary's talking about. You will. It just takes time. It took me time. And I'll tell you, you know, when I was going through that, it was incredibly depressing. Well, basically, it was close to devastating. You know, you would feel like you made progress. And I've talked about this in other videos where you feel like you make progress, but when you lose that progress and you have a fallback or you have a bad day and something triggers you and you have basically a PTSD response for no apparent reason, you feel like, oh my God, this is going to happen forever. Guys, it's not. It's going to take a while. It is. It's going to take time. And, you know, and when you feel, and this is the key, and I talked about this before, is you need to look at your good times to your bad times. In the beginning, it was like, if this was all my time, right? All my time was bad and there was no good. Then you had a little bit in which I'm not, this little hand motion isn't really working well. But so, you know, full range of emotions. Let me try to get my framing here, wrong hand. Okay, there we go. So this is all good, right? So are all bad, right? And then you start getting these subtle little improvements. And it's like, okay, well, there's a little bit of good and not a lot of bad. So the bad's still overshadowing it. And maybe that means you're having a good hour. You're having a good couple of minutes. And then it turns into, you know, a good couple of days. And then maybe you have a week. Or I even had, it was a few years ago where I had a significant period of time. And then for some reason I had this crash. And it was like, oh my God, I mean, is this like, can I never escape this? You're going to go through these cycles, right? So don't give up on, or don't give up and don't forget to recognize the improvements you all have had. So, all right. Oh, and Chemtrail Mary said for no reason. Yeah, there's a reason. Something triggered you that made you think of something. And if you can't put a direct correlation, then it's CPTSD. So then something has happened that's causing you to have this repressed memory And as you deal through it, you're going to feel better. Let's see here. Oh, I'm almost caught up. Let's see here. Ooh, someone said, Mommy, well, that's a good idea to make your email the same as this so the group can have it. I will. So I missed a comment. Okay, so, all right, so it looks like I missed something on that. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, Mommy Mo says, oh, that sounds great. I would be happy to do an email exchange too if Dwayne would facilitate it. I'm not exactly sure what you guys meant by that, but I tell you what, Mommy Mo, since I know you know how to email me so we can talk about it and explain it to me, and we'll set it up. That sounds like a good idea. So let's see here. EMJ says that, I'm hoping listening will calm her down. Well, hopefully I can keep my voice soothing, and she'll fall asleep to my deep and soothing voice. Sometimes I practice my radio announcer voice, right? Oh, it looks like Dansky's on. Dansky, welcome. Glad you could make it. Dansky says, anyone else who has been through this just have no tolerance for toxic people, or do they just tend to stand out more? I think it's a combination of both, right? Because when you first start going through this, you start seeing these people everywhere, and it really annoys you. My take on it is the ones that don't directly affect my life, like my ex-wife, it's annoying, but it's more manageable because, you see what they are and you can have boundaries, or you can keep them out of your life. So, but yeah, I went through that too, Dan. That's a real common thing I think we go through. Okay, Helena says, I finally went through my mediation. He was pushing for 50-50 because he thought he'd have to pay child support. Oh, thought he'd not have to pay child support. Well, he was sorely mistaken on that. We needed with 57.43 and same child support figure. Yeah, guideline support pretty much spits out the number. So I've had, and it's funny you say that, because I've had people, when I tell them that I have 50-50, they're like, oh, you don't pay child support. I'm like, oh yeah, I pay less. I pay about $1,000 a month less, but yeah, no, I'm still paying a significant amount of money for child support. So it's funny though, it's interesting, that comment, because, and I don't know if it's on anyways, it's that a lot of us don't know what the court system is, right? We think we have an idea, we go in and we realize it's completely different. I know I did. The whole money thing. When I started, I figured it would be fair. Well, my idea of fair and what the state of California thought was fair was entirely different. And it works both ways, right? There are times when they try to do things and they think that they're going to win something. And there's times that we do things and we think we understand it and we don't. It's like, I kind of look at it as mutual assured destruction. Nobody really wins in the divorce process. Now, the sad part is with a narc, they have this amazingly unique ability to turn anything into a victory for them. So it's really tough. So let's see here. Okay, so now it just did the whole move everything around like it does sometimes. It's really weird that it does that. Okay, let's see here. Now I got to scroll back up. So, ooh, I see a new person. Urshi18. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but welcome to the channel and welcome to the live stream. So glad you could jump on. That's great. If you said something else, I missed it. Candy Turner's on. Welcome. Glad that you could make it. I know we've been chatting a lot in the comments. And she says, nothing is as bad as them using your kids in any way they can. Absolutely. It is infuriating and it's really not good. But, the thing is that I want to say on that is prepare yourself for it, right? Because if you're not prepared for it, like for me, when I wasn't expecting it and when it happened, it's impossible to not have an emotional response, right? So if you know it's coming, and when that tactic starts, you're going to be able to handle it better, not take it out, not have that, well, hopefully not have your emotional response happen towards your kids. And I did that many a time. So it's really, really frustrating. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I see Helena's comment about that, so I'm back there. Schaefer1234 says, I can spot them within seconds. Bless Her Health says, yes, Dansky, I notice it more quickly and stay away. Used to project good intentions on people, but now more observant for who they are. Yeah, and it's tough, right? Because we all lose our innocence on this. That's the really annoying part. Is it was kind of nice to be able to think the best of everyone, right? To give everyone the benefit of the doubt, to make excuses for them when they were doing stuff, and to have that naivete that it's one of those things where you lose that, but you gain something in the process. So it's not all bad, right? I mean, it feels like it sometimes, but I mean, I think not being naive and being able to weed out toxic people and seek out genuine people, it improves your life. It doesn't feel like it at the beginning stages of this, but that's the ultimate goal that we get to. Let's see here. Okay. Bless Her Health says, Helena, mine threatened the same. They do a lot of, yeah, and it's fear tactics, and it's actually really, well, the other annoying part about it is not for whatever reason, but we try to be fair, right? I'm assuming, everyone on here who's been in this, you started out trying to be fair, and they basically just bulldoze you, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're the mom or the dad. It's like whoever the narc is, they have a playbook that they follow, which is like pure evil. And we get caught up in it because we try to be fair, and then they're able to, when you're playing against somebody who has no concept of fairness or remorse or guilt or any of those things, then they can do all these things, and it has no real impact to them. All right. Oh, Jennifer Gray, welcome. Glad you can make it. Says, so true that children are not off the table with narcs. It's so infuriating. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Schaefer1234 had started a new job and saw my first word salad and full projection from this coworker. It's pretty freaky. Yeah, but see, the cool part is if you can recognize it, then you don't fall for the trap, right? So like I said, it's got its good points and its bad points. Bless Her Health says to Mommy Mo, I created that because my YouTube channel is pre-med mentoring. Oh, cool. And tutoring, and my regular email is my full name, but it works for this family too. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you know what? That brings up a good point. A lot of you guys use I don't use my full name on this channel because for the most part, I don't want someone who knows me, who can search for me, to find this, right? So that's why I don't really do that. But mostly everything I'm online, I use my full name. I would highly recommend, it's fine if you're using your full name, but if you're on these channels and you're worried about people recognizing you or whatever, then be cautious of that and either create a secondary YouTube channel, which is pretty easy to do, and then you can masquerade like a lot of these, well, not masquerade, but then you could have a handle that doesn't necessarily show who you are. I don't really care. I mean, I would say that with all the anonymity that most of the people have on this channel, everyone's been really great. We haven't really had a lot of, we've had very few problems. So I just want to throw that out there. I mean, that's a good point. Bless Her Health. So, all right, let me try to get up here. Bless Her Health says, I would be livid about my kids being burnt and parent protected. I'm the opposite. I sunscreen them and forget me. Exactly, right? I was talking to some friends of mine. It's like you don't do that. You put it on your kids first, and you forget you. You forget your ears. You forget, maybe you put it on your arms and you forget your neck or whatever. But you don't. Who in the heck? Well, we know the answer, but who in the world does it first? It's somebody who, and I hate to say it, but the reality of it is it was a deliberate thing. You know, the ex tried everything in her power to destroy the vacation. I mean, and I've talked about the first part of it already right before it happened, where, I mean, it's just frustrating. So you need to expect it. Expect that, you know, if your ex has limited time with the kids, right? Let's say they only get a day or a weekend or whatever like that. There's probably a 90 to 95% chance that they will probably load them up with some sugary drink or whatever right before they drop them off so that they are out of control. And if it happens, yeah, get angry about it the first time, and then just realize what it is. Realize that your kids are just pawns in this fight, and, you know, just recognize. It's like me when I recognize that my transition days are generally going to be rougher. I don't hold the kids accountable for, you know, for all my rules on transition day. It's counterproductive. You know, they're already stressed. They've already been primed to try to create drama, and, you know, it just creates more problems. And I knew that sunburn thing was, I mean, had we had something planned the next day, it would have been a problem. Like, let's say we had planned to go to the beach the next day or to a water park or whatever. I mean, we would have had to have canceled it. You know, fortunately, I had absolutely nothing planned for the next 2 days. We didn't do anything until this Friday, where we went to Griffith Observatory, sorry. First time I've actually been inside that. That's really cool. If you guys come to Southern California, you should check it out. Just know that getting up there, if you go up there in the afternoon, is a nightmare. You need to go early so you can get in. But you know, I mean, fortunately, by the time that we had something else planned, the sunburn wasn't a major factor in what we were doing. So, okay, let's see here. Mommy Mo says, yeah, do brace yourself. I'm so tired of having to wonder what is coming down the pipe. I have never been good at strategizing and playing games. Guess it's time to learn. Yeah, and there's a two-part of this. One, you could get really super paranoid about what's coming next, right? And there's a fine line. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be paranoid. You want to be like, okay, something's probably going to happen. You think about it like, you know, okay. I mean, like I didn't anticipate them getting sunburned. That was like, I was like, wow, right? I mean, that did surprise me. As soon as they came in and I saw it, I was like, okay, it didn't surprise me, but you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, you know, and then you deal with it. But that's the thing. You don't want to be in that paranoid mode of like, oh my God, what are they going to do next? And I say that because I was stuck in that mode for a while. I got really paranoid and really antsy and anxious about what was coming next. You know, and I was having I'd have PTSD going to the mailbox because I was anticipating something else, a bill or court paperwork or whatever. Okay. All right, looks like I scrolled up too far. Mommy Mo says the cat cafes. Yeah, I have a friend of mine who's actually opening one in Ohio. Okay, so let's see here. So I've gone through some of these comments. I'm a little bit out of order, so let me see if I can catch up. Leche Por Favor says, I'm trying to prep my kids with everything they may need when they are with their dad. He doesn't feed them. If he's not hungry, no one is hungry. That's my biggest concern. I put snacks in the bag. You know, I wouldn't. If it makes you feel okay doing it, then fine. But you really need to get to the point that you embrace that black hole thinking. So whatever is happening over there, you're not really worried about. Because here's the problem, right? Okay, so this is the messed up thinking, Leche, is if he's doing, you know, he's doing this, right? So he's not feeding them. He only feeds them whenever he wants to eat, and, you know, and leaves them on their own. If you're putting stuff in their bag, then he knows that it's getting to you. He knows it's important to you, and he's going to do it more, right? It's crazy. So And you need him to be able to deal with the consequences of some of those too, right? Unfortunately, we are not in the position to get our exes to change. The only one who's really in a position to try to make anything change is going to be our kids. It sucks. It's unfortunate, but really that is going to be the catalyst to make things change. Anything that you try to do isn't going to help. I mean, if you want, what I would say is, I don't remember how old your kids are, teach them how to make stuff, right? So that they know if they're there, they can make their own stuff. Bless Her Hell says, just do you, Mommy and Mo. That's what I'm doing now. Living for myself and the kids and not giving him any thought. Yeah, and that is black hole thinking. And it's tough. But that's exactly what you need to do. Bless Her Hell says, oh, Leche, mine did that too. So frustrating. Yeah. Well, see, I didn't have that. My ex likes to make food. I actually got really into it until the kids started hating everything. And now I understand what moms normally go through, because I didn't cook whenever I was married. Whenever you spend all that effort, you make something and everybody hates it, or not hates it, but isn't really interested in it. No one wants to eat anything. And then you're left with all this extra food, and it's like, then you make something stupid, like, I don't know, like, I swear to God, I can make something really complicated, and no, my son will eat anything, but the girls, they won't eat it. But I can make freaking noodles in a bake pan with a couple of cans of cream of mushroom soup, some cheese, maybe some peas, and some can of tuna, or a couple cans of tuna, and they will devour that. You do something different, and it's like they don't want to eat it. It's really bizarre. So I see Mommy Mo saying, any advice on how to do that, Leche? I send snacks too. Bottom line, guys, I know I just railed against that. Bottom line is, you have to do what is good, what you feel good about doing, right? So if you feel you need to do it, then do it, right? Just understand that by doing it, you're enabling it, and it's even less of a chance that he's going to change. Old Shawnee Road said, cats would wonder who the interloper are, as dogs would just want to play. Yeah, the Cat Cafe was kind of cool. It looks like I missed some comments on that. Okay, so Schaefer1234 says, 13 months of full no contact, no panic, no rapid heartbeat, no upset stomach. I realize how I felt for so many years. I need my full no contact back. Yeah, I mean, if you had to go no contact and then you have to have interaction, I mean, no contact is the best bet. When you have kids, at least when they're minor, it's nearly impossible. I'm looking forward to it, but let me back up. I'm looking forward to when my kids are all adults, but I'm not naive enough to think that there's not going to be any other interaction, because these people don't stop. So there will be something, and it'll largely depend on how the kids are utilized in that regard, right? So our Creep Central Broadcast says, we all have some narc traits. I think it's important to just not judge yourself harshly and know you are moving forward, but they will not. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very true. Mommy Mo says, I almost didn't respond, then I would be rude. It's tough, right? Because okay, Mommy Mo, that's a really excellent point. And that's a tough part about this process, because a lot of what we have to do is absolutely against our nature, right? And I've made a video about that, about them turning us into somebody we don't want to be. And you're right. And unfortunately, it's true. It doesn't mean that it's going to change you for everybody, but there are some things that you are going to have to change with yourself on how you're interacting with your ex. All right. Okay, so Dansky says, recently 5-year-old son was caught lying for the birther due to him being afraid of being hit if he doesn't. These people can grow adults. Clearly, son doesn't know what he's being taught. Shaking my head. Yeah, that rolled off the screen. Yeah, it's tough, right? The kids are stuck in the middle, and that's the reason why a lot of times we get the worst part of it, because they know they feel safer with us, right? So they can lash out, and they can, tell us things we don't want to hear. And I think it's almost ramps up because they can't do it at the other house, because they're going to be punished. They're going to get some type of consequence. And, I mean, so they're stuck in this mode. Now, hopefully, by being able to show them the contrast of our environments versus the other parent, we can at least show them that there's a difference, right? It's worse whenever we're still with the person, and we are effectively not validating it, but what's the word I'm looking for? Justifying it, saying it's basically we're saying it's okay, right? When we were in the relationship and this stuff was happening, and we were a participant in it, or we were blinded and we were playing a role that even made us, I mean, like I mentioned before, I was a disciplinarian, so I was the bad cop, she was the good cop, so to speak, and we were teaching the kids that was normal, that environment was normal, that's the way to treat people. I'm still struggling with that, not with the anger issue, but I'm struggling with that with my kids, because of some of the things that they do. And it's really tough, because they will do things that I know are coming from their mother, and it's really depressing. When I see my kids do very self-centered, narcissistic things, or I see them projecting their what they're doing onto one of their siblings, it is really hard to watch. You try to use those as teaching moments, and that's the benefit we have. Right now we're in a situation, or we're in a position that we can do that. Whereas, I mean, I guess technically you might be able to do that within the house, but it's, I mean, I started to change. I got to the point before I left, before I even knew I was going to, before I knew the marriage was over, that I was just tired of playing that role, and I stopped doing it. And it did not make her happy, because there were times where she's like, you need to go yell at the kids, right? And what she would do is she would provoke me, get me to go off on the kids, and then she would be like, why do you have to be so mean? Why do you have to be like that? Well, when I stopped doing that, and basically it's like, look, you take care of it. It's, no, I'm not going to get involved in it. You're having an argument, you finish it. It was interesting, right? And then, like I mentioned in the other comment, or not comment, but when I started this, they adapt, they change, they modify what they're doing. So, all right, let's see here. Bless Her Health says, my latest drama is actually my mother-in-law. She asked for items from great-grandparents given to my kids because they need to stay in the family, quote unquote. Then deleted all the pics of kids off her Facebook. Yeah, and it's all about drama and chaos and control. I mean, honestly, bless her health on that one. I know what I would do. I would hybrid no contact it, and I wouldn't even respond. I mean, if she anyways, I just wouldn't respond. It's not worth it. Bless Her Health says, only been separated 7 months and haven't even filed for divorce, and his parents are writing off our children. Sucks, but not going to force anyone to be in their lives that they don't want to be. Yeah, that's tough. You might be better off if they are phasing them out, because it's going to be hard on the kids, but the more that chaos and drama is taken out of your life, the better it's going to be for you and the kids, with the exception of feeling abandoned by that other family, because they're not going to understand it, which goes back to what I've said before. If you have the opportunity to have therapy for your kids to help them with this, I would highly encourage it, because if you can nip that in the bud, nip that in the beginning, then you're going to save your children a ton of heartache going forward. So Mommy and Mo says, my son has had family abandon him too. He's better off to be away from people like that. Yeah, true. Dansky says, bless her health, be thankful that they are showing colors already. Save your kids the confusion. Absolutely. A Creep Central broadcast. When I first started studying narcissism, at first it was happy, but then it was traumatizing, double whammy dissociation, no relaxed I'm having a hard time with that word. You know what I'm trying to say anymore. Yeah, and I was talking about earlier. It's one of those things where and hopefully if you guys that are new on this realize it, then when that happens, you're not going to, it'll be like, oh, okay, that's what everyone was talking about. So this is just another phase, right, that we have to go through. All right, let's see here. Let me try to, where am I at? I'm like 20 minutes behind, so let me, oh, Mommy Mo says my signal froze up. Let me check to see how my stream health is doing. Stream options. Okay, see, I'm doing this a different way. So, oh, it's in the bottom, if I remember correctly. Stream health. Okay, no, it says my stream is doing pretty good. It might be on your side, Mommy Mo. It says it's going pretty good. Oh my gosh, I have 34 people on. Wow, you guys are awesome. Hey, if you haven't, and I can't seem to see where it would be, if you can give the old live stream a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. It does not appear that I have a way to see that. So on this stream, I'm still frustrated by how that happened. All right. Oh no, I have two. All right, hold on a second. Okay, I need to close this one. I still had the other screen, the chat window open on the other thing. Okay, so let me try to catch up here. See, I am all over the place. Sorry about this. Oh, SPI Latino is, oh, you know what? Let's see here, fine, SPI. So SPI Latino, welcome, glad you could make it. Okay. So he says, just checking in and updating you guys on my case. Got off child support and alimony. It took a while, but in the end, they ended up canceling the court orders and giving me a refund. Holy cow, I have never heard of that happening before, so congratulations on that. So SPI says, battle is not over, but so far so good. She is still trying to come back and appeal. Well, you would expect that. And let me go to the next one. Best lesson, don't react with emotion. That is excellent advice, SPI Latino. He goes, I also learned a lot dealing with an ex-narc with children in the middle. I hope some of you will get through this as well. I think we all will. You just have to understand what you're dealing with. Your next thing is second lesson, their sex matters a lot. I think you're saying that the moms have an advantage. Maybe that's what you're trying to say. Third lesson, secrecy is everything. I'm assuming you're talking about keeping your cards playing close to your vest. And you had a fourth one in here, I thought. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. And lesson number 4, don't argue if you absolutely don't have to. Yeah, exactly. And that all falls within the hybrid no contact, the absolute thinking, and gray rock, and a little bit of black hole thinking as well. All right, so let me try to get caught up. Oh, Spartan Monk. I just saw it. So welcome to the live stream. Let's see here. I'll try to see if I can find some of these. Now what I'm going to try to do to catch up on this is just see if I can search around. Let's see here. Whoops. Okay. Oh, come on. Yeah. All right. So I'm missing a lot on this one. Oh, Bob Allen, welcome to the live stream. I just saw your name. So sorry about this, guys. I'm like bouncing all over the comments. So I missed a lot of people. So I apologize for that. It looks like we have a really lively discussion, and I'm falling behind. So I apologize. But let me see. Bob Allen says, I'm still not given overnight visits with my son, and she's constantly doing all she can to prove I'm the crazy one and using him covertly as a spy under the banner of looking out for his safety. Absolutely, that is exactly what she's going to do. The thing on that is, Bob, just remember that just because they say something doesn't mean that everyone's going to believe it. So don't fall into the trap, and don't. It's hard because you get frustrated and you get anxious and then you get scared, and then it starts clouding your judgment, and then you start making bad decisions, which then they can use against you in this process. Your ability to remain calm and rational throughout this process is critical to fight the crap that they're doing. So let's see here. Bob Allen says, I live in a prison that I'd love to move away from, but I don't trust her with him. Yeah, it's tough. And what I would say on that, Bob, is, I mean, I was just talking to Debbie the other day about this with the shenanigans that's going on with me. Is like, I absolutely understand why somebody, you know, I mean, stereotypically the father, but I have a female friend of mine who got in the same boat. You walk away because it's so painful. It's so frustrating, and it's just like, you know, what do you do? So I absolutely understand why some people, I'll say people, say, okay, they leave, they start over, and you know, they basically, you know, walk away from their kids because they don't have a choice, and the situation is so nasty that they're backed into a corner where they feel that that's the only option. You know, it's wrong, but it's also an unfortunate reality. So Bob, if you're able to stay with it and keep working on it, keep the relationship with your kids as strong as possible. This sucks. It's not a fun situation. However, you know, the benefit is that they can try to destroy our relationship with our kids, but I firmly believe it's ultimately our reaction, right? When they're able to push our buttons and then get our children to do it too, and then we respond, which in effect reinforces what the other parent is saying. And this, guys, this is what happened with me with my own father, right? My father didn't know how to respond. He couldn't play the emotional mind games that were being played. So whenever I would do something as a little kid to basically jab him in the eye, not even realizing it, he would have an emotional response that in my mind, my mom had already primed me that he would do that because he was evil and he was a male chauvinistic pig, or I can't remember what the terms were, but whatever. He was basically, you know, this bad guy who didn't really care, who was a piece of crap. And then he would do something, and then I would believe it, right? And had he acted differently, you know, I mean, like I think I'm acting with my kids, and I think my experience has been, you know, proof of the pudding, I guess, on that is that, you know, if you can persevere through this, whenever you're getting, you know, your eye poked, you're being handed these double bind scenarios where there's no good answer, that every answer is bad. You know, if you can navigate it to where you're focusing on not creating that drama with your kids and not giving them extra supply, it helps. Because unfortunately, most of the time, whoever the narc is has the kids primed. It's really bizarre to defend them. So even if you try to defend yourself, a lot of times you are validating the ex's points, right? I don't know if that sounded quite right. That might have been a little off. But what I mean is that we have to really be careful of how we interact. This is really, really tough. It is not easy at all. Okay, let's see here. So EMJ says, totally normal. I think my worst fear would be losing her to him or having to leave her alone with him. Yeah, unfortunately, at some point, if the custody goes that way, then he's going to have an opportunity to be alone, and it's, you know, it's tough. These whole things, it's tough. So, Mommy and Mo says, oh, yeah, the kids would be ruined, destroyed. Bless her health says, my kids misbehave way more with me than they did with my ex because we're scared of him and he physically abused them. Frustrating, but I refuse to even ever hurt my kids. Hopefully time will help. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know what's going on at my ex's house. So Spartan Monk says, Dwayne, you are so right about the good cop, bad cop. Our dynamic was the same. Well, and Spartan Monk, the problem is that it's like, not a stereotype, but it's social norms, right? The dad is a disciplinarian. I mean, so if you're dealing with a narcissistic mother or wife, it is so easy to get played to where you play that role. And then it works out perfectly because then the kids are scared of you. And then when they want to ramp that up and they want to play that scenario, this could be the same if the guy is the nice guy and the mom. I've known a few people who the moms are the disciplinarians. It's the same thing. You get stuck in this trap where then they're able to use that against you. It's tough. It is really tough to try to balance that whenever you have to play the good cop, bad cop on your own, and you're balancing doing things and dealing with it. And I'll tell you guys, if you can do it in a way that's constructive and not angry, and not filled with anger, spankings, yelling, which is anger. If you can do it in a calm way, and your kids will push. They will push and push and push. And I think in a lot of ways they're trying to test to see if you're really going to be there for them, to see if you really love them, to see if you're going to abandon them like the situation feels like they're being abandoned. And it is really, really hard. But when you recognize it and you know what you're doing, then it makes it a little bit easier. And if you can, in the beginning stages of this, if you can, I wouldn't say master that, but if you can implement that, you will save yourself a tremendous amount of headache. I'll give you one example. The other day, we came in late, and I needed to go to bed to go to work the next day. This is over the vacation. And I told my youngest daughter, hey, you need to take a shower. And it was late. Normally I have her do it at 8 o'clock, and it was later, and I'm like, hey, you need to take a shower. And she, do I really need to? I'm like, yes, you need to. And I told her to do it, went in my room, answered some of your guys' comments before I went to sleep, and she took a shower, right? And it was one of those things where it was kind of a test. I mean, I didn't yell at her. I didn't say, you're going to be in trouble, whatever. I just basically said, do it. And she did it, right? So it's weird that, you can set those boundaries with your kids, and then it actually becomes easier. You have to remember that, right? Because I could have easily in that situation, because she wasn't really responding, and I thought there was pretty much a 90% chance that she was going to completely blow me off because I wasn't going to be accountable to her, but she actually did it. Now, I'll tell you, there's a 100% chance that when she's at her mom's, whenever she tells her to do something, that they just ignore her. Because that's what happened whenever we were married. Oh, okay. So, I threw my back out also. That's the other thing that's been kind of messing me up. So I was actually out of work today on muscle relaxers and pain pills. It's been great. So hopefully this live stream is going okay, and I'm not going to rewatch it later and go, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So let me see where we're at. Leche Por says, the smear campaign was pretty awful. I took your advice and did nothing about it. I took your advice and did nothing about it. I focused on my kids. And moving forward, everything has started to come out. I'm so glad I stayed quiet. Oh, and did nothing about. Okay, when I first read that, I'm like, you took my advice and you ignored it. Is what I thought you said. So you took the advice and you didn't respond. You didn't do anything about it. You focused on your kids moving forward, and everything has started to come out. See, and that's what I was talking about, right? I mean, it's like when it's crazy, but when you actively try to fight these smear campaigns, it draws the attention to you, and it makes you look crazy. But if they're making up these stories and these false allegations about you, and then you don't respond in that method, and you don't, no, that's not true. He's crazy or she's crazy, then people, it starts to come out. It's like, well, wait a minute. Leche is over here being just calm. I mean, in a bad situation, but she seems to be doing pretty good. And, Bill over there is, jumping up and down and, acting like a lunatic. Maybe that's not true, right? You just have to let it play out. It's really hard, though. I mean, it's really hard whenever you're being slandered, whenever your reputation is being tarnished, whenever you have friends or so-called friends, siding with your ex over you, until you realize it doesn't matter, and you fight that, then it just creates more problems. Okay, hold on a second. I got to drink something. Just so you guys know, where I live, it's 110 degrees right now. Not inside the house. I'm running the air conditioning full blast, so it seems to be helping. So, all right. Spartan Monk says, indeed, the truth will come out. Well, actually says, indeed, the truth comes out. Atlanta DJ Music, Rocky's on. Hey, thank you. Glad you could make it. I appreciate all the support that you've put into the channel, Rocky. That really means a lot to me. So welcome. Glad you could be on the live stream. And I'm only 20 minutes behind like normal. So, okay, Bob Allen says, anyway, I'd better get on with my day. Just been major finding out that she's been monitoring me through my son's iPad through my whole recovery time. Yeah, they're going to do stuff like that. And in some ways it doesn't matter, but you're better off if your information's a vacuum. Actually, now that I mention it, I don't know whether my ex looks at the stuff on Facebook or not. Maybe she does. I don't know. So she's blocked me, so she can't see me. So Mommy Mo says to Bob, a friend of mine who supposedly hated my ex has been friends with him on Facebook this whole time and been asking me questions constantly, probably a spy. Yeah. You got to be careful, guys, with mutual friends, and I made a video about that, last summer. Just be really careful, right? Because you don't really know who you can trust, and anything you say to them, you should expect is going to go to your ex. Okay. Bob Allen says, I changed all my passwords on my devices, including email and secret questions, and by the time I drove back home 15 minutes, my password stayed the same, but secret questions changed. Yeah, it's tough when they know all your PI or personal identifiable information, PII, for anyone who's into that. They can gain access to stuff. Now, I will say that, like with Apple doing the two-step verification process, it makes it a little bit better because they send a text to your device to have you validate it. So, and then whenever someone does anything, it's sending you notes so you know what's going on. I don't know if Android or any of the other systems do that, but that's one nice thing about the Apple stuff. But I will say that none of that was in place whenever we separated. All right. So let me see if I can get current. It'd be nice if I could get up with what's actually scrolling up in the thing. So on that, since I'm all over the place, if somebody missed something that you want me to specifically discuss, please just put question in the comment. If you can, I don't know if you can highlight it somehow. Well, you could do that with the super chat thing, but that costs money. But then I'll try to see that. So just if you have a question, just put like question in capitals. Don't have to put the whole comment in capitals, but then so I can see it, and I'll try to scroll around for that and try to catch up. And then once I catch up, then I can talk a little bit more about what happened over the vacation. Okay. Old Shawnee Road said, I just deleted Facebook altogether. I think that ticked her off when I did that. Yeah, probably, especially if she was getting information and intel about what you were doing there. Yeah, it's going to make her mad. Let's see here. You know what? Actually, I defriended I forgot about this. I defriended her. I didn't delete her. I defriended her. And she was angry. Now, then she ultimately blocked me. So, that, and it's been that way for probably the last 5 years. So let's see here. I don't know. Sometimes I think that I should just get off of Facebook altogether myself. I just haven't done it. So Bob Allen says, I've been off work for a couple of weeks and tried to return yesterday and had to go home after throwing up. Ooh, that sucks. So hopefully you're getting better. Bob says, she even has links to my psychologist. Oh, that's not good. Oh, you know what? Okay. Okay, Bless Your Health says, Spartan, I've thought about deleting social media, but not sure I could, as I do use it to connect to family and friends. Okay, what you guys can do, and maybe I should make a video on this. There are ways, you know what, let me see if I can do something real quick. I don't know if this will be helpful or not. Maybe it will be, I'm not sure. Okay, so let me go into Facebook and let me switch. Where is it at? I got to figure out where the command is. Maybe it's here. Log out. And all right, sorry about this. Because I want to show you guys something that might be helpful. Okay, we'll go Facebook. I'm trying to get into my account. And, oh, that's why it didn't work, because I'm managing the password that way. All right, log in. Not now. Okay, so, oh, looks like I wasn't paying attention and Rocky threw something out there. So let me look to see what he was saying. So thank you, Rocky. I appreciate that. If you guys, oh, wait a minute, there's actually a comment too. So let me find that. Okay, so I'll do this. Before I do this other thing, I will answer his comment. Oh, that didn't work. Undo. Okay. All right. So, whoa, wrong one. All right. So Rocky says, what advice can you give if I want to change the parenting schedule? She agreed verbally, but will not sign or conform through email. Unfortunately, well, okay, so there's a couple of things that you could try. One, if you have an attorney, you can have them send over a stipulated agreement and try to get her to sign that way. If that doesn't work, you're going to have to take her back to court. And but will not sign or confirm through email. The other, however, what you might try, because I'm assuming, Rocky, you're trying to change the schedule to get more time. What I would say on that is if she agreed, then just start doing it, right? Take the email, make the mental or make the note, document that you did it, and just implement it. Do that. If she's willing to implement it, even if you don't sign, then go ahead and start doing it. Keep that email saying you were going to do it, and document whenever you get Ella. And because what could happen, right? I know what you're worried about. You're worried about that you're gonna, you're gonna come over, you're gonna take your daughter, and then she's gonna say, "I never agreed to that," and try to hold it against you. I think in your situation, it's worth the risk. Keep everything documented, like I said. And if she said, "Oh yeah, you can have her these extra days," start doing it. Start establishing that new parenting plan. And then if it turns into a problem later, or she starts saying, "No, I've decided that I've decided that you don't, this isn't good for Ellen anymore, and you can't see her on Thursdays and Fridays," or whatever the time is, right? So then what you have, I mean, then you're going to have to go to court, right? But then you'll be able to say, look, this is what we were doing. We did it for a couple of months or 6 months or whatever the issue is. And, you know, she's going to have a harder time saying, well, wait a minute, what's the deal? Why all of a sudden now is it not working? It'll still potentially be a fight. And realistically at this time, it's all about more time with your daughter, right? That's what you're focused on. That's what you're trying to do. So do that, right? Everything else, the actual getting the time change and the custody change and the child support change and all that other stuff is really secondary to getting that additional time that you want, which is what I'm assuming you're talking about, done, right? Okay, so let me get back on that. Okay, so. And thanks for the $5, Rocky. I really appreciate it. You've been a reoccurring person who's actually supported the channel through the super chat thing, which I still don't quite understand, but it does highlight comments and gives you guys a way to support the channel. So I really do appreciate that. So yeah, and it was like Spartan Muck is saying file a motion for modification. Then I initially led with that, but I would say Rocky is, if she's agreeing and she'll stick with it, try to implement it. Don't force the issue of confirming through mail. If she said yes, she would do it, just say, hey, what I would do, and I don't know the specifics, but if you were, let's say it was going to be, you were going to get to see her on Thursday, right? Or maybe she said, we'll just go with that you were going to get her Thursday and Friday night, hypothetically, and right now you get her every other weekend. Now what I would say is, hey, Satan, don't say Satan. From our conversation the other day, I will pick her up hopefully from her in this situation, so that you don't get that situation where you pick her up from school or something and she's like, I never agreed to it. Say, okay, I'll pick her up, I'll pick her up from your house, and just show up, right? And if she lets you have her, then just start implementing that. If she says no, then you can, okay, I see that, Satan, yeah. Then you can then fight it, right? And then everyone else is right, that if she's going to say not agree to it, then you take her to court. If you really want it to change it, do that. But I would say you're in a position, if she agreed, try to implement it. Try to implement it first. I know that goes away from the hybrid no contact and the gray rock and basically staying away from her and all that stuff. But in this situation, you're trying to increase the time you have with your daughter. So try that and then let me know how that goes. Okay, so, oh, Arthur Fields is on. Hey, welcome. You haven't been on for a while, so glad you could make it. So let's see here. Now I'm trying to scroll back. Actually, let's see what we got. Chemtrail Mary says, me too, mommy. I am in a peaceful mode, though it's a bit lonely. Yes, it is. And then you guys, maybe I shouldn't have said the Satan thing. But that's kind of, I used to call her Voldemort, and I stopped doing that, and I would just call her the X. And lately, I've been calling her that. So, Amamimo says, I unfriended my ex while we were married because I was tired of being hurt seeing all the new women he was friending and wondering who he was sleeping with. Yeah. No, and you have to do that, right? Because then all you're doing is you're punishing yourself. Okay, so let me get back to this. Sorry about that. I got this big monitor right behind my camera, and I didn't realize I had not switched back off on that. RLOC, welcome to the live stream and welcome to the channel. Let's see. Let me do a search on RL. Oh darn! Come on, stop! I have my computer trying to listen to my voice. Where did it go? Where's it at? I'm trying to find somebody. RL. So RLOC, welcome to the live stream, says, I'm currently going through a divorce with my narc. We're in the 10th month, set to go to trial in September. He discarded me when I was 12 weeks pregnant. He has falsely accused me of being the abuser. Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. I think you said some stuff else. The pregnancy was planned. He's playing the victim. Court granted him unsupervised time with my infant daughter, even after I voiced my concerns about his behavior. It's also frustrating and unfair. Yeah, let's see here. I think you may have, no, that's 404, so let me go back. Okay, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab your comment and I'm going to throw it over here. Oops. All right. And let me, whoops, wrong way. Sorry about this. And then go down. Okay, so I don't think this is going to fit, but let me try it anyways. 2. Okay, so RC says, I'm currently going through a divorce with my narc. We're in the 10th month, set to go to trial in September. He discarded me when I was 12 weeks pregnant. He falsely accused me of being the abuser. The pregnancy was planned. He's playing the victim. Court granted him unsupervised time with my infant daughter, even after I voiced my concerns about his behavior. It's also frustrating and unfair. And, okay, so the thing we have to remember is the court and the family court is not going to look at the kids as our kids, or my kids. They're both parents' kids. And unfortunately, without real clear evidence of behavioral problems, they're typically going to look at it as if you're just being an angry, everyone's mad, everyone hates each other, everyone's throwing allegations out there. And, so they downplay it. Something significant has to happen. Like what happens is the narc is able to provoke the other person to where they do something to validate the behavior, right? And unfortunately, they're not going to care that he left you. They're not going to care that he left you when you were pregnant. It's horrible. It's morally wrong, but it's not legally wrong, right? I'm assuming that with him falsely accusing you of being the abuser, that they just ignore that too. They didn't put any effort, or not any effort, but any weight into that comment. That's the unfortunate reality that we have in these situations with narcs, is that they are not going to be typically, not always, but typically they're not going to be fully exposed to who they are. You're not going to get them marched through the center of town and, not accused, but, basically exposed. That's the word I'm looking for. Exposed as who they are, especially with court. It's going to be incredibly tough. Something significant is going to have to happen, or enough of a concern that they take that risk. So unsupervised time with my infant daughter. Hopefully it's just a little bit of time, right? I don't know if RL, if he gets like weekends, or if he's getting, 50-50, or which I would be really surprised with an infant, because the only caveat being is if, you're working and he's working and your child's in daycare, well, okay, then all bets are off. But if one parent is the primary caregiver and home with the child, then I think the other person is going to have a significantly difficult time trying to say that they, like for me, with me working full time and my ex not working, she was a stay-at-home mom. If we would have divorced or separated when my kids were not in school, I don't know how I could have argued the point to have 50-50. I don't think it would have been possible. Okay, so let me see where I'm at on this. All right, let's see here where we are. So I don't know if that helps, RL, but that's my take on it. If you want to add some more please do. Okay. Let's see here. Mommy Mo says, I was off Facebook for a year and it was great. That was good. Oh, okay, so Rocky says, yes, Joanna, exactly. So you were trying to get more time. So that, I'll scroll down. You probably responded, but Talum says, according to the real Bible, when Satan was condemned to hell, there was a narc waiting for him there. That's funny. Okay. Oh, RCRL says, should I file a police report to back up my concerns? He may get fired from his job. He currently has 3 days with her for 8 hours each. Well, the thing is I think you're playing a dangerous game if you do it, because if it's an active situation or something he's doing right now, then that's a different story. But more than likely, the way they're going to look at it is they're going to look at it that you are a jilted, angry person and you're lashing out trying to involve the police to do it. Now, I don't know, maybe you mentioned what exactly he is doing, but okay, I have evidence. Let's see, I'm looking up. So you say, I have evidence. I also have the option of going to law enforcement. He pushed me down. I haven't filed a report because part of me still loves him. Yes, they ignored both of our claims in court. Okay, well, here's the problem is it depends on, when did he push you down? Because if it was a while ago and now you're going to bring it up, you're in a tough situation. If you really want to go that way, then when he does it the next time, then you file a restraining order and you try to do something about it. When you say you have evidence, I mean, it depends. I mean, if you have a medical... See, the problem is in most states, if you get hurt and there's physical evidence of being hurt and an ambulance is called, and whatnot, then there's a report on it. If you're going to go to law enforcement and say, 3 weeks ago, he pushed me on the ground, pushed me down, and you bruised your knee. I mean, it's like, okay, so where's the evidence of it, right? So, and I get it. I mean, you don't want to, you're when you say you still love him and you don't want to go that route. So let me ask you this: why? I mean, is he physically violent toward? Are you worried that he's going to be physically violent towards your daughter? I think you said daughter. Let's see. Hold on. Claims in court with her. Yeah, your daughter. 8 hours each. So he doesn't have overnights. All he has is 8 hours. And the court could be doing that just to see if he can actually handle it. Your best bet is, I mean, you could document what happened before, but if he's not doing things well with your daughter, document that and you can use that. Okay, so RL, I keep saying RC, I'm sorry. You say, yes, that's what I'm afraid of, looking like a scorned, angry wife. It happened 10 months ago. Yeah, your host. Then there's physical evidence. I was taken to the hospital because he was claiming I was being suicidal. 10 months is a long time ago, and that's right around the divorce. One thing you're going to notice through this, or not through but the beginning stage of this, family court tends to not really put much weight into anything criminal, whether it's in whatever it is. It's really bizarre. But I don't know how many people who have shared their stories with me where they've tried to go that route and nothing has happened. More than likely, with you saying that there's physical evidence and I was taken to the hospital because he was claiming I was being suicidal, unless you have documentation. Well, see, the problem is even if you have documentation that says that, yes, he hurt you and they didn't believe you were suicidal, nothing happened then. No one turned it over to the cops then. And still, it's not, how does that impact the relationship he has with your daughter, right? So, I mean, if he does it tomorrow, if he pushes you down tomorrow, then I absolutely would recommend you go to law, to file a police report and file an order of protection or a restraining order. Okay, so Rocky says yes, file, but be careful, because the courts are going to see that you are not filed before or protected him in the past, and the filing will work against you. File ASAP at first strike. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So now, you know, when it happens again, if it happens again, yeah, the Ledlin, yes, it is live. So welcome. Glad you could make it to a live one. Then you can reference that other one, but Rocky's right. You know, you're kind of, I mean, you kind of missed, in my opinion, you missed the opportunity on that. Now, you could talk to an attorney and see, but even with that, with him pushing you 10 months ago, and the court will probably look at that, okay, you guys were having a lot of arguments, you know, it was right in the heat of a divorce or the separation, you know, well, what's he done now, right? What is he doing today? What, you know, that's going to be your problem. So what I would say is document that last incident and have everything you have. If he does anything again, immediately, like Rocky said, immediately file something on it. If your daughter is coming back with, you know, rashes or, you know, dirty diaper, well, I mean, you know, whatever, anything that isn't appropriate, that's demonstrated, well, I guess rash, right? So if he's not, let's say he's not changing her diaper the entire 8 hours that he's with her, and he's ignoring her, you know, well, you're not gonna know if he's ignoring her, but if you're seeing anything, you document that and use that if you go back to court. But you're kind of in a tough situation. Okay, so let's see here. Chemtrail Mary says, RLOC, do you think he will hurt your child, or would he just want to hurt you? See, and that's again, that goes back down to is how do you, if you're trying to limit his interaction with your daughter, well, with both of your kid, you know, with his daughter too, if you're trying to limit interaction with his daughter, what has he done to justify that? So. Okay, and then EMJ said, my ex blackened my eye, picked me up by the neck, and threw me across the room. Then the next day stole my car and threatened to kill me. I filed the report and signed warrants for his arrest. Yeah, so, and you probably did it, EMJ, you probably did that right after it happened. So, okay. Yeah, okay, you know what, all right, so I wanted to, let's see here, let me see if I can, I gotta be careful because I don't necessarily want to show my own personal stuff, so. Okay, so all right, I'm going to try something here. Hopefully I'm not making a mistake. Okay, this is for, Leland? Okay, if you go into YouTube settings, go into the little gear. I don't want to click it because I don't want to show my other accounts because it'll show my name. Go into account overview. If you go into, whoops, let me get over to the website page. If you go over, you can change the name here. You can actually edit it on Google and modify your name. There's also a way to create a new channel. So if you scroll down here in the thing, you'll see all my channels or create a new channel. If you create a new channel, and that didn't do what I wanted to do, you can actually add a new channel. So that way, if you can have your personal one, and then you can also have one where you deal with this, and this is the back end for it. So let me go over here, and so that is, I don't know if that was too fast, and if that worked. And yes, actually, hold on. Okay. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to run away. He's asking me about somebody he recommended I talk to who wrote a book called Dad When Without a Lawyer While Discovering Your Soul. Let's see if I can show that. Okay, there, now it's in focus. So yes, I did talk to him. I had a really great conversation with him. Really super guy. A lot of great information. Definitely want to read his book. I haven't had a chance to because of the vacation and everything. We talked a little bit about maybe having him doing an interview with him at some point. So yeah, so thanks for setting that up. I've been meaning to try to connect with you back on that. So sorry about that. So Rocky and Ella says, hi Leland, I have 2 accounts. Making a second account could help. Yeah, I have, as you guys noticed, which I didn't really want to show you, I have like 4 accounts. So, but they're kind of tough. You can only make like 2 a year because you have to tie it with phone numbers and stuff. So, all right. So I don't know if you guys, if when I walk through the steps on that, if that worked or not. So the other thing, what I was going to say, let's see, what do we got? Oh, sweet. So it looks like it did work. So NDBS, so NDBS, you just changed your name, right? So that did work. Adriana 14, welcome to the live stream. Kind of coming in at the tail end, but glad you're here nonetheless. Where are we at with the numbers right now? Oh, we've had a few people drop, so 26. So hopefully you guys have liked the live stream. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Let's see here. Let me get back over to, now I got to get back where I was. Cool, it worked. Great. Awesome. Yeah, so anyone else who is worried about their name, just you can either change it or you can create a new account. So if you create a new account, remember to subscribe. So, and it's probably a good idea because then you're at least your name's not fully out there. Okay, so let me look and see. Oh, Savvy Duns had to go. So sorry I missed you on that. Hopefully you can catch the rest of it on the replay. Okay, so where are we at? So the other thing I was going to talk about for you guys that are still hanging out is, let me see. I don't know about thinner. Maybe vibrant. Okay, thanks for the comments and responses. Good. Yeah, RL, you're not alone, right? I mean, this is a really tough situation. If you're new, I think you're new to this channel. I have a playlist called Mindset for, let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, go to my channel. Whoops, view channel. Let me do, so if you go to the, let's see here, is it 2? No, 3. Okay. If you go to my main channel, you scroll down to playlists where I have, where is it out? See, normally, if you scroll down the bottom, you can see the Mindset for Narcissistic Abuse Recovery. That has a collection of videos that will really help you in all this. It talks about the absolute thinking, not getting sucked back in, how to, I kind of put the videos as like if you're kind of new at this and you need a list of stuff to just kind of drill into your head, this is a really great playlist to go through all of it. I'm going to redo this and make individual videos, do it more of a set step, I guess, system, because I think it would be a better way to do it. This is just a collection of one-off videos that I think would be really helpful. Okay, so sorry about that. And let's see here. The other thing I wanted to try to show you, if I can figure it out, is, okay. All right. Oh, darn the luck. Come on. I went too far. All right. Okay, so if you're in Facebook and you can do some privacy things, but this is what I do when I post a thing. This is a test post on Facebook, right? You can come down to this area here and you can say who sees it, right? And what I do is I make an exception group. And what I do, so what I end up doing is I do friends accept, right? And then you can add people on here. Like, let's say I didn't want David from CNXG to get this email. I can do that, and then he will be exempted from it. So I actually have an XMutual group where I add those people in. So when I post stuff, they can't see it unless, well, they can't see it, right? Unless they're taken out of that group. So that's one way to try to control who can see your stuff. You should double check because it probably defaults to public, which means anybody on Facebook can see it. You want to limit it to your friends, and then you can do friends accept. And I don't have a group list on this one, and I have a small amount of people on this Facebook page. But that can be really helpful if you don't want to get rid of your Facebook account and to be able to limit who actually sees it, right? So if I posted this, and I'll go ahead and do it that way, and I'll just hit post. So if you guys were to go to this Facebook page, you would not be able to see, or you shouldn't be able to see that comment, right? And if you were David, even though you're a friend of mine, you're not going to be able to see it as well. So it's a way to limit who can actually see some of your stuff on Facebook. Now, if you have a mutual friend who is actually feeding information, well, see, here's the thing. If you have a mutual friend that's feeding information to your ex, but you don't want to defriend them or block them, which would be your best bet, but if you just didn't want to do it, you can make that list in there. Excuse me. If I can remember how to do that. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Let me go here and friends, and is there I'm trying to remember how to make the group. So, and I don't remember how to do it. So groups. Yeah, I'll have to look at that one. I haven't done it in a while, so I don't. Private group. Yeah, so sorry about that. I didn't do that. But that's one thing you can do. If you guys really want to know how to do that, let me know, and I can actually talk about that on the next live stream. So yeah, hopefully, let me get back over to all of this, close this, close some of this other stuff, and get back to the comments. Okay. All right, so let me scroll up a little bit because I missed a little bit. Oh, Chemtrail Mary. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I tell you what. Yes, she did. Chemtrail Mary says, I told Michelle, Surviving to Thriving channel, to contact you. Did she? She sent me a note, and I answered her, but she hasn't responded. I even sent her an email, and she hasn't responded to that. So I don't know whether so if you talk to her, tell her I did try to answer her. I will absolutely try. Anyways, the thing on that is she's having some problems with live streams, and, I offered to help. So she did try to contact me. I have not, actually I'll double check right now. She hasn't responded back. So I don't know if she doesn't know I responded, because I will say that YouTube, yeah, I even actually, so I responded. She sent me a note 6 days ago. I responded that day. And then yesterday, I sent her another note through YouTube asking if she got my stuff. So, so if you could let her know that I did try to help, if maybe she doesn't need my help or anything, it'd be nice if she'd at least acknowledge the email, but or the comment. But I don't know. So yes, she did. Yes, she did, and I tried to help, and I don't know if it helped. Okay, let me go up. Okay. All right. So Arthur says, huge fan of absolute thinking mindset, extremely useful, Dwayne. Yeah, I think it really helps. Jenny, welcome to the live stream, and welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you around before, so thank you for jumping on. We'll probably wrap it up here in a little bit, but if anyone has any questions or anything that we want to hit before we turn this thing into a pumpkin, let me know. Mommy says, we were trying to talk about getting on the forum on the website, Adriana, throughout the week. So, yeah, if you guys could check that out, that would be, I would really appreciate, well, try it out and let's see if it works. I'll be able to, now that I still have one more weekend with the kids, but things are going to go to a normal schedule, and I should be able to I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch up on all the comments. I was looking today there's comments from 3 weeks ago. I am really trying to get to them. I will more than likely probably go through all of them, but it's just going to take some time. So Mommy Mo says, wow, Facebook is so complicated sometimes. Yeah, hopefully that wasn't so complicated. So Mommy says, I had unfriended the woman I didn't know was spying and just had family on my page. She just asked me questions verbally. She has hidden her friend list, so I can't see my ex on there. Good grief. Yeah, it's just, you got to be careful. Anyone who's a mutual friend, I have a video on that as well. So, mutual friends are really dangerous because you don't know who you can trust. All right. All right, Chemtrail. Oh, Mommy Mo says to Kim, how are you feeling? I'm hanging in there. Cannot afford much of any treatment, but thankfully I'm doing okay. And Chemtrail says, does anyone know if they're where to chat online just for fun, just for some company? I'm not sure. You're talking about just even on different topics. I'm not sure. The forum, I didn't add that. I don't know if there's well, I'll tell you what, if the forum starts working and then an online chat thing wants to be used, we can work something out on that as well. Oh, Mommy says, I don't know about chat, but Dwayne's forum will be wonderful. Hopefully we can exchange email addresses. I emailed Dee about it. Oh, you know what? I think in the forum, hold on, let me double check this. I don't mean to, let's see here. Whoops, it's not actually doing anything. There we go. So let me log in. All right, log in. Okay, so I think if this actually will do something. Okay, if you go into your, I think you can message people, right? So let's see so I did this backwards. So if I went to the forum and let me try to find, we'll do old Shawnee Road. I think I could private message him. Sorry, I'm doing this. Hello, this is a test. This is a test message. I hope you're still online so this doesn't confuse you because we're talking about it in the live stream. Okay. So I think, I hit send, that you would be able to still maintain your anonymity, not put yourself out in the public domain or sharing it with other people, and then choose who you want to share it to by using the forum, if you guys want to do that. Or at least it would also be a way to send emails back and forth or notes back and forth in a way to where you wouldn't have to share emails if you didn't want to. So hopefully that Let me go back over here. Hopefully that's, whoops, wrong way. Now I gotta go back over. No, hopefully that's something that's useful. All right. Arthur says, yes, it was because of mutual friends that I went back to the psychopath time and time again. Better to cut ties with the allies and the abuser might have after breaking up. Yeah, see, if you have those flying monkeys and they're feeding into your own fears, like, oh, well, you just need to give her a chance, or, it's not really the way you think, or whatever. I mean, it's tough. Oh, Mommy Mo says, the thing is, Dee, she never hung out with my ex and said he was a jerk. So bizarre. So you are my friend. We should stick together. Wish we could all meet up. That would be really cool. If you guys are in California, let me know. Or if I ever leave this state, which I don't know if I'll ever get to, but Chemtrail Mary says, Mommy, I'm heavily practicing pushing negative thoughts out, practicing gratitude. That is super important. I don't want to, I don't know how you guys feel about, like the movie The Secret. But if you have Netflix, you should watch it because it's all about positive, it's like law of attraction type stuff and how to change your mindset to basically bring positive stuff to you. I think for the most part, even though I've been through we've all been through a really horrible experience, but I think in my life, I've been kind of innately do that. And there's a lot of things that have always worked out really well. And I think that if you can do like what Chemtrail Mary is talking about is, pushing negative thoughts out and practicing gratitude. I think that is crucially important. And it's funny, well, not funny, but it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I haven't really directly talked about it on any of the videos or any of the live streams, but I am really grateful for a lot of things in my life, right? Like, okay, so my back, I having back problems, which I generally do, I'm grateful that it's not, I've had it worse in the past, and it's like, okay, so it's annoying and it's causing me to move around less, I'm moving around better, but that's all because of, pharmaceuticals. But I'm grateful that it's not worse. I'm grateful I have a job that I have leave from to be able to take time off when I need to. That lets me do stuff with my kids, that lets me take them to appointments. I'm grateful that I have, even though I'm paying a lot of money to my ex, but that I have enough money to still be able to do things I like to do. I'm grateful for this channel and being able to help you guys. I'm grateful for my life experiences through work, and personal, and all the different things that have given me the skill set to be able to do that, to do what I'm doing now. I think that it's practicing gratitude is super important, and it's something that Debbie and I have been talking about a lot lately. And I think it really helps. And it's not, and the thing is, and I don't know if it's still on the screen, if it's scrolled off yet. No, it scrolled off. But when Chemtrail Mary was talking about that, she says, I'm heavily practicing pushing negative thoughts out. Well, we were talking earlier in this live stream about how all this stuff takes practice and it takes time. And even pushing the negative thoughts out is something that you're not going to be able to do overnight. And that kind of rolls into the, like the absolute thinking and the hybrid no contact and all that other stuff. All this stuff, all of it's intertwined, guys. Whenever you can push that negative garbage out of your life, when you can diminish the power of those toxic people, from your ex to, coworkers, whatever, it's like the negativity can have an infectious result in your life and really bring you down, and the positivity can bring you up too, right? It's harder to do the positive whenever there's so much negative that you perceive in your life and you've been focused on it for so long. So, wow, okay, I kind of went on a tangent there, so. All right, let's see here. Mommy Mo says, Chem, I believe that will help us heal. I really think a lot of my health issues is from stress and anxiety. I think my back right now is because of stress and anxiety, because of this last little, the thing, which I haven't even really got a chance to talk about. Chemtrail Mary says, I go around thanking the Most High for every little thing. It works and no doctors involved. It absolutely works. Mommy Mo says, yes, so true. I'm also reading positive things every AM with coffee. That's a great idea. Mommy Lo, I like the idea so we can communicate. I can only get lonely and use the company as well as support. So the dang squirrels ate my strawberries. That's funny. Rocky says, great comment to Chem. Absolutely. Mommy knows, I believe the movie, and I believe in that movie and follow Buddhist principles too. Doesn't have to be your religion to hear what they have to say. Yeah, it's all intertwined. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about the movie The Secret. If you have Netflix, look it up. It starts out stupid and corny in the beginning, and their little reenactments are really silly. But if you can ignore that and just kind of look at the simple truth of it, I think it's a phenomenal way that they did it, and it's really positive. All right, let's see. Chemtrail Mary says, hey, did you know putting human hair around the garden will keep animals out? I get hair from my haircut lady. Wow, I did not know that. That's good. That makes sense, though. Mommy Mo says, it's a good point, Chem. And do you try so hard to focus on what we do have? Health, kids, a nice home, etc. Yeah. And you know what, guys? And here's the thing. And you don't have that chaos under your roof. At the end of the day, you're not coming home to, or they're not coming home to you and living in that chaotic crisis environment. Your environment might be a little chaotic and crisis filled right now because of, money and some different things that are temporary. But I am so grateful that I do not go home to her anymore. I mean, it's like, it was soul crushing. I was dying in that environment. Sorry about that. Author says, yes, it's true. The more you keep yourself away from the bad people, your brain starts to heal faster. After 2 months, it starts to feel great, and it just keeps getting better. Absolutely. NDBS. You're going to have to tell me what the acronym means. Does your ex know about this channel? Sometimes they stalk digitally via platforms and stuff like that. I get that question a lot. I think the answer is no. I don't think she knows about this channel. That's the reason why I try to keep it on the down low. If you search my full real name, this channel does not, this YouTube channel nor the website comes up. I don't associate it with my full name. Dwayne is my real name, so that probably wasn't the smartest move on my part, but, whatever. Even that YouTube channel, the Dwayne Robert, that's not my full name, but some of you probably do know my full name. Keep it to yourself because I've made some mistakes on some different things. But I am doing everything I can to minimize that. At some point, she's going to find it, right? And I pretty much think that when that happens, I'm going to know that she found out. And it'll probably make for some extra, no Deadbeat Society. Oh, no. I should have realized that. I forgot that's your website. So, yeah, okay. Thanks for reminding me. I didn't remember. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. Check out his website. Just put all the words together and the .com at the end. And you know what? Actually, let me do it this way. Let's see if this will work. No Deadbeat Society. And dink. So that is his website. And if I remember correctly, I don't know why I'm going to the online store. It's just he's got some cool stuff in there that I've seen before that doesn't appear to be loading, which is kind of annoying. and he's got a blog. So if you guys want to check out his stuff, and support his online presence, and I'm scrolling way too fast on that, so give it a look. So there you go. Good shout out for you there. NDBS. All right, let me get back out of this. Let me go back to. Okay. All right, let's see. So it looks like I missed a couple of comments. Oh, okay, so I talked about the ex not knowing about, I don't think she knows about the channel. Mommy Mo says, yes, that's funny. I only have a couple of plants. I have one. I call it Der Plant. There's some videos where and that's not a real plant. I wish it was, but so Mommy Mo says, that's true, D. We have to stay. We still have the chaos, but not day to day. I thought of that this week. Yeah, it's tough because we can get so focused on the crap that they're causing and then what they're doing with our kids that it's like we lose sight of the fact that we don't have them in our face pushing our buttons, right? And that's huge. It's huge, and you have to remember that. Okay. So let me, before we finish this up, I think we still have a few, I don't know how many people we have on. We have 28 people. Okay. So we still have a good chunk of people. All right. So to roll back with what I was talking about before with their changing tactics, right? And you guys know that in talking about in preparation for the vacation, there was all kinds of shenanigans going on, right? So the ex, conveniently scheduled basically a meetup with my middle daughter, best friend that she hasn't seen in 6 years. They were going to be in California, right? So I made my efforts to try to facilitate that. She was able to take that, turn it against me, right, like they do, and get my middle daughter to basically start attacking me on the fact that this was about her. It wasn't about me, and I was interfering with her experience and yada yada. So also, as a result of the ex doing things to sabotage everything we had planned, we don't tell the kids, or I don't tell the kids what we're doing. And that's a tough one because they're not happy about that. They have been really upset and tried to make that a big deal. And probably, I would venture to guess that has a lot to do with the ex making an issue out of it, it can be subtle comments. Oh, wow. What were you guys going to do? Oh, he won't tell you. Well, why won't he tell you? And then it's like, it's another one of those double binds, but because of the consequences that we've had with Debbie and I, with the kids telling stuff to their mom, it's like, it's one of those things where that's the decision we've had to make. So then she tries to pull that trip thing, which I'm like, okay, we can move it around, and which we did. Then it was the issue of, well, why do you need to have the kids? I was trying to swap time. And I know I've talked about that. So then I get from the kids, it's like, well, why are you trying to do that? I get berated on that again. I actually had one email exchange with my middle daughter after I took them to their mom's on, it was Friday, during normal transition. And my middle daughter was like, okay, I'll see you on Wednesday. I'm like, no, you'll see me on Monday. And then, a few hours later, I get this just nasty text from her demanding to know what's going on. And basically it was exactly the tone and tempo of her mom. And I almost responded emotionally, and I didn't. The next day she apologized. And when the girls came home, late, 20 minutes late, but whatever. Because I told the ex, I'm like, look, you know what? Whatever time you want the kids, and I think you guys saw the email on it before. It's like, okay, you bring them over whenever you want them, and then I'll bring them over the exact same time. So, you know, they came over, and then we went to an hour and a half, 2 hours away to a river, and spent the day up at you know, a river, and the girls went rafting. My back's jacked, so I didn't go, but I took pictures, took some video. Afterwards, we got something to eat, and then we hung out at along the river, and just, you know, the kids play. You know what? I wonder if I could. Let me see if I can show you guys something, because this could be interesting if I can find it. Graduation. I may have deleted it. So hold on a second. I don't know why. It's just something I worked on that I think is kind of cool, and maybe you guys will like it too. And oh, darn. I see a picture, but I don't see the video. Let's see here. Photos. Maybe I need to do all photos. See if I can find this. Whoops, too far. Maybe it hasn't uploaded. No, okay. No, I can't get to it yet. So it looks like it hasn't downloaded to this computer. Okay, sorry about that. I was going to try to show you this. You know what? What I can do this though. What I was going to show you was a time lapse of basically this. Let me see if I can pull this up. And I'm going to go here, and I'll say not web display. Nope, cancel. Media file on my desktop, and there we go. And let's see if I can. I'm going to try to do this, and this might be too. That's what I was trying to show you. It's I did a time lapse of this little scene. Let me see if I can adjust it, scale to fit. Anyways, whatever. It's kind of pretty though, isn't it? So the river was really high. That's a time lapse. That's why they're not a time lapse, but it's a long exposure. That's why the water's blurred. And I guess I kind of overdid that. So I went on a tangent there. So sorry about that. So Chemtrail Mary says, you know, Mommy, I also have heavily practiced distracting myself, doing work around the house. I'm putting a roof on my shed. I have no clue about roofs except for YouTube videos. It's amazing. You can find YouTube videos about everything. Mommy Mo says, changing tactics is so true. Mean then nice, and even almost flirting. It's so tiring. Yeah, it is. That's why that absolute thinking and the black hole, well, that's why absolute thinking is critical, because when they start doing that, you don't question yourself. You don't go, oh, wow, they're being nice. You know, you go, okay, it's all a tactic, and you realize it. NDBS says, do I have any videos on dating women? I seem to always be worried that they are the same as my ex. Actually, no, it's one of those things I keep wanting to talk about. I'm going to leave this picture up for a while because it just looks pretty. And I wish I could show you guys a time lapse because it was really cool. It was a really cool, like 10-second video. Next week I'll show you guys that. So anyways, yeah, so I do want to talk about the dating thing. I just haven't done it yet. But I do intend to start talking about that. Actually, what I need to do is I need to get Debbie to do some stuff to talk about what it's like being on her side of it. Because, you know, she had to watch me go through it. And now, as the tactics change, a lot of it is directed towards her now. You know, the kids are being, you know, it's like we'll have a good time. Like, that was the other thing. We had a really great time, and I have pictures and stuff where we had a good time. And then every time that the kids were with their mom and they came back, there was this transition thing. And even this weekend, before I took the kids yesterday to their moms, I actually had my middle daughter basically come to me, because we were talking about seeing a movie, saying, well, we want to see a movie, but we want it just with the four of us. And I, like an idiot at first, thought, it's like, oh, okay, so you want to see it with me and not your mom. No, well, whoever I see it with, but I don't want anyone else to go, just us. I'm like, you don't want Debbie to go? And it's that insidious BS that our ex do to corrupt everything. And I'm sure what it is just subtle little comments about, oh, well, Father's Day, you didn't get to, oh, it wasn't just with you guys? You guys had to go, do it with Debbie too? Oh, well, that's so bad, Oh, yeah, she just commented on it. Debbie says, right, you're right, Dwayne. I know feeling the full hit from your ex. I hope I can help others from my stressful experience. And it's a nightmare, right? I mean, so the ex was focused on me for the longest time. And now, because she can't, it's like she's trying to destroy anything with the kid. Okay, for instance, and I'm not going to go through with everything we did, but when the girls went to their moms, let's see, I'm trying to remember the time frame. God, see, I'm getting confused on the days. But my youngest daughter wore everything over. All the stuff that basically Debbie had gotten her. Came back with none of it. Asked where it is, I don't know. Well, where did it go? I don't know. Are you going to bring it back? I don't know, right? And it's just like, it's tough because, you instinctively want to think, well, not you, no, it's not that you instinctively want to think. You instinctively think that it's your kid doing something vindictive or mean, right? But that's where, and I've talked about this before, that's where you have to look at, okay, what was the experience? Was it crap when you were going through it? Well, then there's a chance that it's, maybe that's what it is. But if everything was good and then they go to the other parent and they come back and the attitude is changed, they were manipulated to think differently, right? And it's so hard not to get angry or want to take it out on your kids or to think that they're being disrespectful. And it's hard to not remember or not think about the fact that they're in the middle of this too. This nightmare is worse for them because they do have to live it that way. We were just talking about a minute ago that you don't have to we don't have to go home to this person anymore. They're not, or we don't have to go home to that person, or they're not coming home to you, right? When your kids are with you, they have a break, right? And the way they act with you is critical to remember, because that's the reality, okay? And I'm not talking about the transition day reality where they are trying to poke you in the eye, but when you're having those genuine moments with your kids, that's what you have to focus on. You have to focus on that because that's what's real. And when they come back and they don't bring back stuff that you got them, or they come back and they're downplaying what you did with them before, you have to recognize that your ex is playing a significant role in doing that. It's evil, it's wrong, but that's what happens. And you have to be incredibly careful that you don't take it out on your kids, right? Because if you take it out on your kids, that rolls back into that double bind that I talk about a lot. Because when you do that, when you do have that emotional reaction with your kids, then they think that that's what's happening. Okay, for instance, talk about the sunburn thing. So I'm dealing with the kids on that. And Debbie was angry I was angry. I was biting my tongue. Like when I told you earlier, when I said, when I asked my youngest daughter, it's like, hey, how did you guys didn't have sunscreen? Oh yeah, we had sunscreen. Okay. Why do you have a sunburn? Did everyone get a sunburn? Oh no, mommy didn't get a sunburn, right? Well, my oldest was, Debbie was angry, justifiably. my oldest was trying to like, well, it's water under the bridge, or trying to blow it off. And I told him later, he's like, well, when I was talking to my son, and it means everything calmed down. I put the aloe vera on him, everything, and everyone went to bed. And I was talking to my son, and he was just like, well, it's not like she did it on purpose. And I was like, I almost said his name, but I was like, buddy, just talk to your sister, and she said that your two sisters made sure mommy didn't get sunburned. And I just walked away. And he's like, oh, right. So your kids, unfortunately, are going to want to defend the other parent. They will take every wrong thing that they do and ignore every good thing that they might do and embellish it, and then hit you for everything that you do. It's really incredibly frustrating. Anyways, so sorry about that. Arthur says, yep, with absolute thinking, it's starting to become second nature for me to reel my thoughts back and remind myself it was just a lie and a game. The good times fake, all of them fake. Yeah, and Arthur, well, like you're saying, it's making it better. As you start programming that in your head more, whenever those thoughts pop up, what you'll probably notice, depending on what stage you're at in, first what'll happen is you'll have those feelings, and then you'll be like, no, it's fake, but your brain's going, no, it's not really fake. And then as you're drilling that into your head, you'll get to the point where you don't even have that. It'll just be, you just know it, and it's intrinsic. So Rocky says, having Debbie's input would be so helpful for future relationships with others with children. Yeah, absolutely. And Savvy Duns, who I don't know if she's still on here. I think she dropped off. She is actually the new wife working with her husband. And, so she is also in the midst of this, trying to figure all this stuff out. She doesn't necessarily say much about it in the comments. I think some of it's been in the back end, but okay, so it's 8:30. If anything else anyone wants to talk about before we start shutting this down, pop it up in the comments. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Arthur says, yes, that's how it's been for me as well. It's a great technique. Can't thank you enough for sharing it with all of us. Thanks, Arthur. I appreciate that. I'm glad it's working, right? I mean, and I'll tell you one thing, when we're talking about gratitude before, one of the things that I am grateful for is seeing the improvement from you guys. There's a lot of you who I can remember coming up on this channel and just being in a really bad space. And to see the transition in just a few months of improvement is great, because I know from where, for some of these people are that's taking a few months, it took me 2 years, right? So if this stuff is helping you, that is amazing. And I am really grateful to have this opportunity. So Mommy Mo says, I'm so sorry I fell asleep. You missed a lot. Other than the nice picture, it's still on the screen. I haven't taken it off yet. So Talamone says, I have used black hole thinking, and now my brain automatically diverts my thoughts away from the previous toxic relationship. See, it works, right? All right, so Schaefer1234 is getting ready to bail out. So thanks again for showing up. What do we got here? How many people do we still have out in here? So 21 people. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. If you haven't given the channel a thumbs up, please do that. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. If you heard conversations about the, hold on a second, I'm trying to get over there. Where'd it go? Oh, I shrunk it down. About the forum, if you could, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Hold on a second. Oh, somehow I killed the website. Hold on a second. Well, that didn't work out well. All this technical difficulties driving me crazy today. Chrome. There we go. All right. So that's what I'm trying to do. So, geez, sorry about that, guys. That was just bizarre. I don't know what happened there. If you could go and sign up for the newsletter, geez, that's what I'm trying to talk about. If you could do that, go to the dadsurvivingdivorce.com website, and right in this little area here, if you put in your name and your email, it'll sign you up for my newsletter, which I will send out really cool stuff to you. And if you get a chance, click on the forum. log into the forum and check it out. We're going to be expanding upon that. I think we're kind of out of beta on this, and hopefully we can get some comments and traffic on that. Like I mentioned before, I haven't been able to really, starting this right before I went on vacation was not a good idea, but hopefully we can build on the forum. I did a little bit go through on how you guys can interact in the back end by sending messages to each other through that, since you can't really do it on YouTube. And let's see here. If you need to contact me directly, let me go over here, and it's 2. You can do that at sending me an email at Dwayne@dadsurvivingdivorce.com. We already talked about the website and the Twitter feed. I tried to send a note out on the Twitter feed that I was having problems earlier, and let's see, on that pretty much wraps it up. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me. Sorry it's been sorry I've been kind of offline. I'm going to try to have some videos this week, and I should be able to go back to a normal schedule completely next week. And let me check where we're at on just the last little bit of comments so I don't miss anything. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. All kinds of stuff is popping in. Black Hole Thinking, Asleep, great live stream. Oh, right to Debbie says to thank you, Rocky and Ella. There truly is a lot to discuss. He is farther along than I am, so I'm also learning how to respond in the correct manner. Yeah, that's one of those questions. I mean, it's weird, right? I mean, it's like she wasn't a target before, so all the stuff I was working on didn't really impact her. So now she's a target. So that anger and that frustration and that hurt and all that stuff is like right in her face. I mean, it's really insidious how this stuff goes. Talaman says, thanks for the live stream. Absolutely. Glad you can make it. Mommy Mo. Yes, thank you, D. And to everyone, I feel so supported here. It's an awesome forum. I love it. Right to Debbie says, I learn more every day. So happy to see everyone so supportive. I love Dwayne. Love Dwayne's good work here. Good night, everyone. Aveline B, welcome. I don't know if you missed it or not, but I'm glad you could jump on real quick. Thanks, Dwayne. Joining this late tonight. Always such a big help and support. Rocky says, Debbie and Dwayne, any T-shirts coming? Ooh, that's actually an excellent idea. I should do that. And Jenny says, thanks to everyone. Have a good evening. All right, guys. So thanks again. This went longer, but I didn't do one last week, and I've been short on videos. So great live stream. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning, but it worked out. Minus the first few minutes without sound because I forgot to plug my mics in. But that's, hey, whatever. That's okay. So on that, I appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out and to jump on the channel and support it. It's humbling, the support that you guys continue to give me and this channel. It really means a lot to me, and thank you very much for that. So on that, I hope that you guys have an outstanding evening and the rest of your day, and I'll chat with you on the next video. So take care. Bye.